Hi folks, Handyman Dan here, and we got a big project going on today. We've got two garage doors here that we're going to install, and we're going to show you how to do that. Save yourself a lot of money doing this yourself, and it's really not that difficult. Just have to understand all the different pieces, parts to it, and put them in. So what we have here is we have a garage door. This happens to be a little oversized. Typically these, on a standard spec house might only be 8 by 7. These are actually 10 by 8, so extra wide, extra high. And so we've ordered the doors. We've got both of those in here, and I'm going to show you all the different parts to it. Taking delivery on the doors here, and again, we have two 10-foot wide by 8-foot high doors. Therefore, these would come in 24-inch pieces. So these sections will be 2 foot high. And I just wanted to show you here, the boxes, the way it comes here, it'll indicate what they are. The B and the T means the bottom and the top. And the K and the I means the lock in the intermediate section. So we've got 4 boxes here, 2 panels in each. So there'll be 4 panels on each door. This is Wayne Dalton's Model 8500. It's their best residential door, 2-inch thick door with foam in place, 16 R value. It'll keep you warm in the wintertime and cool in the summertime inside your garage. So folks, these are really good doors. So you get the actual panels. Those are in there. We're actually getting lights in this one here. So you want to be very careful with the glass that you take care of it. It's also the Sonoma design, and I'll just show you that in a minute. You get a hardware box, you get the track, and you get a spring along with it here. If you want to take a look at one of the panels here, this is the bottom panel, and get yourself a pair of horses here. This is the Sonoma design. You can see it's a real nice design. This is a nice brown color that'll match the house, the trim on the house very well, and it's got the wood grain finish on it. Very nice door, a really nice seal on it also, so that keeps the weather out. Okay folks, we've got all the parts unpacked here, and I just wanted to kind of go through everything that we have. First of all, we've got the panels that I just showed you. Then we have the vertical track. We have the spring. The spring happens to come in this model, comes on the rod. Then here we have the track itself, and then we have the perforated angle, which we bought separately, that is used to hang the horizontal. So the horizontal, we also call those hockey sticks. You can see this the shape of them here. Oh, and there's one other thing here. We have a strut. This door actually only has one strut on it. But these are the horizontal tracks here, and I just want to point something out here. We ordered the 32 radius, okay, and the radius is this angle here. Typically these are very much shorter, but I wanted to show you here at the top of the garage the reason we're doing that, because if you go with the 32 radius, number one is you get a heavier track. It's more of a commercial track and rollers and everything. But you also get your garage door to go up a lot higher. Some of those look a little awkward when they're just kind of hanging down from the roof. So we've got plenty of room here. We've got about 3.5 feet here to work with. So being that this garage was built high like this, we can do this. You can't do that with all doors. Just a little description here of some of the hardware. You can see there's a variety of different hinges. Those hinges are numbered. We have the bearings for the spring tube there, and then various different hardware. We've got a bag with rollers. We've got the cable drums, and we have various different bolts and screws here that go with it. So I just wanted to show you here on this bottom section. Again, you can always tell this is the bottom because it has this astracal. Some of the astracals come installed and others don't. This one happened to already come on here. It's like a bubble of rubber, and that's what keeps the wind and rain and everything out the bottom of your garage door. We have went ahead and put the bottom bracket on here. This is what holds the cable that goes on the very bottom and lifts the door up. So when you're assembling all these, typically what you want to do is have the bottom one at the top of your pile, so you can assemble that first, take it off, set it down, and then get your next one. But the cable's already on here. There was a pin that you had to put in here first. Very important that you get that on first because it goes behind the bottom bracket. One other thing that I wanted to point out here, if you're going to be doing this yourself and you're going to be winding the spring, you're going to need these winding rods here, spring winding rods. You can buy these on the internet for about $21 for the set. It's good to have the ones with the handles on it so you don't slip, but I'll show you later how to wind the spring. All right, so we're getting ready to install the hinges here on the bottom section, and these hinges will be labeled number 1, and these happen to be all the same. The end hinge as well as the center hinge and then the other end over there. So total of 3 hinges on here. We've got self-drilling screws, and I've got a 7/16 socket on here. Got my Milwaukee M18 drill, and basically you just put these right in here and it'll be self-drilling. So there we go. We'll do that 3 times across this door and we'll be done with the bottom section. Hey folks, we've got the first section here in position. We put the 3 hinges on that we were just showing you here, 1 on each end. Inserted the rollers, and then we've got the vertical track that we put up here. We just put this in here loosely because we want to get this thing positioned. We wanted to be sure that we were level here, and if you look at the level here across the bottom section, you can see that this is very level, okay? So we want the track to match that. They've given you adjustable brackets here so that we can play with this a little bit and just make sure that we have it on center. So first section's in, we're gonna start stacking the second section and so on, and we'll get everything in place. We're working on section number 2 here, and it's very important that you get the right hinges on here. These are the number 2 hinges, and you can see they've got 2 pieces to them. Those will go right on here, and then in the center we have the number 1 hinge. All the center hinges are the number 1 hinges, and if you notice right here, I don't know if you can see this on the camera or not, but there's dimples here, and that's exactly where those hinges go. So they make it very simple for you to drill those. And then again, a number 2 hinge on here. So that'll go on this end, and then we'll stack this onto the other one. These are called graduated hinges. Looking on the number 2 panel here, these come in a box together, the intermediate and the lock section. Really, these are identical panels, so you can really use either one. But the important thing is you get the right hinges on it. For the number 2 section, you're going to use these number 2 hinges. Okay, so it's very important you have that. These are graduated hinges, so you're going to have a roller that goes in here like this. Okay, that attaches on there. And then the center hinge here is the same. It's a number 1 hinge. All the center hinges are the same, so that's a number 1. That'll go right on here. If you notice closely here, if you can see it in the camera, there's these little dimples here. That is where you put that hinge, and they make it very simple for you to drill that. And then again, another graduated hinge here on the end. So very, very simple. We'll get this one in, and then we'll stack this on, and we'll be done with it. Folks, we got the second section in here. What we did is we went ahead and put on the hinges. We put the roller in here. Notice the roller goes in the bottom of this. We lifted the whole section up over the top of the vertical track here and just set it right down. Everything is real nice and level. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach the number 1 to the number 2 and the hinges that are already affixed here. And we've got the graduated hinges on here, and then we'll start with number 3. Okay, we're working on the third section here, really pretty much identical to the number 2 section. It does have the graduated hinges on it as well. So these are the number 3 ones. And then in the center hinge is again the number 1. Okay, and then number 3 graduated hinge on here again, and we'll be putting the rollers in there as well. And then we'll stack this one on, and we'll be done with number 3. We've got number 3 installed here. We just got to put the top section in. The top section will be what they call a lighted section, which means it has the windows in it. And we have that laid out here. I've already went ahead and put on the top brackets and rollers. This also has you put this 3 inches down. This also has a strut that goes across here. Depending on the design of your door and the weight and everything, it may require a strut. This one did require a strut. So this is the Stockton 3 glass on here. It's an insulated glass, which means you've got 2 plates of glass. One in the front, one in the back, and that gives you better insulating features. So we're going to take this one and we're going to stack this one on top then, and then we're going to get ready to do the horizontal track. Okay, folks, we got the top lighted section in here, and we just need to do some adjustments. We got the strut on the top there. Just wanted to show you one little trick here. Is if you look up here at the very top, since we don't have the horizontal in yet, the roller's not holding anything. So what you do is you just put a nail right there in the middle. You see that? And that holds it up for right now. We got the hinges attached. Again, those are the number 3 graduated hinges. And then we can go outside here and take a look and just see how this is looking. Okay, so we've got some work to do yet to get this all fitted up, but it's looking good. Folks, we're getting ready to put up the horizontal track here, which is also called the hockey stick. And again, we've got a 32-degree radius here, so it's going to be set up a little bit higher than most of them. So there's a few parts that you need to know about. One is this is a fully assembled horizontal track. That's the main piece. The other piece is this flag bracket angle that goes up here. That's what will connect the vertical to the horizontal. And then at the top of that will go this this bearing. This is for the spring shaft to glide easily up there. So we'll be showing you how to put that on here in a minute. So folks, we've got the vertical track up here now. You can see that this is very level. Got the level on it here, and things look real good. We're going to put the flag angle on, which is this piece up here. This attaches the vertical to the horizontal. So we just want to be sure that that's level as well, and then we'll attach the horizontal. Okay, folks, this is the left-hand side, and we'll show you how we've fully assembled attached the horizontal track to the vertical. First of all, it's very important you have a real nice level here. This is a magnetic Milwaukee level. Come in really handy just to see kind of where you're at. And if you notice here, the vertical track comes down at a wedge, and then so when you pull your garage door down, it goes up close against the face. Up at the top here, you can see we've got it fully assembled. This is where the horizontal track and the vertical track come together and attach to that flag angle. And then we have this lagged into the wood here just to secure it so that we have the horizontal. Later what we'll be doing is we'll be making sure this is level and attaching the bracket so that whenever your garage door is up, that it has it's able to hold the weight when it's fully retracted. So we'll be working on the right hand side here. We'll get that finished up, and then we'll start working on the spring. Okay folks, we're working on the hangers here, and you can need one on both the left and the right side. Just a triangular configuration. We're using 18 gauge, 1.5 inch steel perforated angle iron on here. And basically you just have to get 3 pieces and cut it in this dimension, get some screws. I've got two 21-inch pieces here, 21 here, 21 across here, and 16 down here. And you just screw them together and find it where they work best for you to attach it up here on that side. We're working on the other door right now, and I'm going to show you how that gets. We're ready to install the spring here. I just wanted to kind of walk through it and show you all the parts to it. First of all, there's a tube here, then there's a spring. In this case here, we only have one spring for this door, and you can see it's loose on here. So later on, this is the winding, and you'll have to have winding bars to wind that down. So if you look over here on this side, you have a drum on each side, and these drums are labeled on the end. It'll say, as you're looking out from the inside of the garage, it'll say R for right. You can see that right there. There's an R. And then you want to be sure that you put your bushing on here. This kind of fits in here. This is going to mount to the plate in the middle that holds the spring, and then that'll be stationary. And then you'll wind it and tighten it down. And then this is the other drum on the other side. Right now, we're just going to put these in. We're going to just tighten them down just a little bit so they stay on, so that when we install the the door or the spring, that these things don't go flying off. I want to be sure too that every of these springs will come with a tag on it. You want to keep that tag because it describes the spring itself, how many windings it has on it, what the size of wire is on it. And it also says on the spring here, it says it's LW, left wound. This is like a 282 or 252. I can't quite read it, but anyhow, if your spring ever breaks, you need this for replacement. So we're going to put this up and we'll show you how we install it. Okay, folks, we've got the spring in place here. We put it into the bushings on both sides. We mounted the bracket in the middle, and there we left the tag there so that was available in case we ever need a new spring. Attach the bracket in the middle. What you do here is you put a pair of vice grips on here, and then you wind the cone down. You just have that cone all the way over to the end, only about 1/8 of an inch to the end, and then you want to get this cable so it's almost like a piano string. So that's the right cone, and I'm going to go over here on the other side and show you actually how you turn one of these down. So over here on the left side, we've got the tube in place. So we're going to wind this one down. And again, try to take up any slack that is on the cable. Okay, and put as much pressure as you can on it. Again, just have a tightness of a piano string. And then you'll go and you'll tighten these set screws down. And that will lock the drum in place so that you have a cable on each side to lift the door. These doors are very heavy whenever you stack, all these panels together. It comes up to be quite a bit of weight. So once you got those set screws tightened down sufficiently, you can let go of it, and then we'll be on to winding the spring now. Hey, we're ready to wind the spring here, and the first thing to do is put some clamps on each side here. That'll keep the door from coming up. We've got the springs, or the cables here tight, and so what you'll do is you get up here, and since this is about an 8-foot door, you want to crank it like 8 times. We put a white mark on here, and basically you've got these 18-inch winding bars. Make sure you get some certified winding bars, and you'll just keep cranking it this way, and just be extremely careful. I wouldn't advise anybody doing this. Really need to have a professional do it. But you just keep cranking these things and alternating it, making sure that you're holding on to one of them while you're cranking the other one, and just keep cranking it down. Turn it about 8 times for this 8-foot door, and then your cables will get nice and tight here, and your door will get light, and you should be able to lift it up. Okay, folks, we've got the doors installed on both sides here, and you can see they look really nice. What I wanted to show you here first is the weather stripping. We kind of skipped over that step, but it's actually pretty easy. On this case here, we had to build the door out just a little bit with a 1x4, and then to put the weather stripping in here. And you can see that it's real close up here. We ran into a little bit of a problem on the top here because this has the windows in it. You want to be sure that whenever you lift the door that it clears the weather stripping and there's enough gap up there. So on this door, we've completed the weather stripping installation. We're getting ready to do the hardware. You can see the hardware here. These are some really nice spear handles and hinges, and then the screws that go with that. We'll show you what that looks like on the finished door here. Over here on this side, you can see that we've got the weather stripping on here. It's up nice and snug. We've got the hardware on here. We put this on the top section and the bottom section, and those are just screws that go in on the metal screws that go on the outside. These screws actually go all the way through. That way you've got functional handles. And what I want to show you here is that when you lift this door, that the door backs off from the weather stripping a bit, and it'll show a little bit of gap here so you don't have too much friction. And then you also see where the handles will clear the top. Okay, so if you look over here, when you lift the door, you can see how it allows some room. And then the handles clear up here on the top. We've got the weather strip on the bottom, and so it comes down real nicely. We haven't hooked up the operators yet, but we've wound the spring and it's in place here. So you can see we've got two doors up, and it's going to look real nice here with both of these doors with the windows, and real high quality matches into the colors of the house, and it's going to look real nice. So we're going to finish up here with the hardware on this side, and that'll pretty much be it until we get the operator. Hi folks, we're getting ready to install the opener here for garage doors. We've selected the LiftMaster LED. This gives you great light throughout your garage. It's a 3/4 horse motor operator. It's also a belt drive, which makes it real quiet. It comes with the whole set here with the motion detectors and everything with it. A remote control, as well as a keypad that goes on the wall. But this is a real nice match for our doors here, because these are really nice heavy-duty window and garage doors. We want to match it really nicely with the opener. We're going to start by taking this rail here and putting up a bracket up on the top here. That goes above the spring. You want to be sure that you have a piece of wood, solid piece of wood, not pine or anything, something much harder than that, because this is going to be bearing the whole pressure of opening up the door. So we're going to start putting that up, and then we'll get to the opener, and then we'll start doing some of the wiring. Okay, folks, getting ready to put the rail up here. We've got the operator head attached to the rail. There's just two bolts that go on there. There's a bracket that goes up on the above the door. So we've got that attached up there, and there's just a pin that goes through there that attaches to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this up so that we can determine where the bracket needs to go to mount it up on the ceiling. Okay folks, we've got the operator head attached here. You can see that we just used a couple of pieces of punch angle, depending on what your installation looks like. This has a really high ceiling in this garage, so we wanted to keep the operators really high. It's one of the reasons we went with a 32 degree radius track. And so if you look at this, we've got this in here now, and the bracket is attached up here to the top of the door. We got a rail, and it's the very same on the other side. You can see these LEDs, they really do a good job of lighting the garage. It's very bright throughout the entire garage here. So anyhow, it's very important that this up here is all level. You want to lay a level on there. Be sure you got it. Plug it in. There's just basically two wires, and then over on the wall, we've installed the two keypads, and then you have a couple of remotes. We're going to put a keypad on the outside here as well.